Yes, yes, it is true. We have a half inch of snow on the ground today, so it's been particularly nice and different. It's like the weather is cold and snowy, and that's really wonderful compared to rainy and kind of half wet. So it feels like a new day. There's enough sun coming in where I don't even have the lights on. I just have the window open, and that hasn't been the case for a while. So it's really nice to be without artificial light for a minute.
That's so
So-
nice.
Do you have some sun there in Vilnius? Is it any better than Minsk?
No. There is like no sun in Vilnius. Never. It's no.
Oh my. Okay. Wow. I feel bad that I was talking about the sun.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, I'm used to that. I'm totally fine being in such conditions.
In a vampire.
Yeah.
Where is the? I'm sorry. What city did you say? In Minsk?
No. Currently, I'm in Vilnius, in Lithuania. So yeah. Well, but the weather is kind of the same. So you know. So yeah. What about you, Karina?
I'm not sharing my weather with you guys so that you're not jealous. I already said I'm in Barcelona, so.
I hoped that maybe you're gonna say that. Oh, but today we have really bad weather. You know. I was like, fingers crossed. No,
even the bad one is kind of good.
Still kind of good. Yeah.
I'm actually super excited to talk about Orbit because I've checked the website and everything that's written there. And then Olive mentioned to me some stuff, and I'm still kind of figuring out what the company does. So that's why I'm probably, looking forward to our conversation.
The funny part that is Karina is like is super curious about what you do from the sales point, since well that's her background and that's her origin, and it's like so how like I pretty much explained that what Orbit does. It enables salespeople figure out what all this community and DevRel people do and put a money on their heads, and she's like
Money? I heard money.
It's not like that.
That's an interesting way to describe what we do. I'll be very happy to talk about that for sure, and say some of the things we're having for the vision for the long term. Maybe some of the stuff we have today. Try to provide some nuance. I'll be very, very happy to do that where I can, because I know that it's can be tricky, and probably what we have out there on the website is it's always the problem. It's like 5% of what you actually are currently thinking or processing or anything like that. So I love calls like this so we can get into that stuff a little deeper.
I understand. Yeah. Is your entire team in France, or is it like everywhere in the world pretty much, especially right now?
Right now, we're very much France and San Francisco. So my co-founder, Patrick, is in San Francisco. We have a senior software engineer in San Francisco, and then we have 4 people here in France, 3 in Paris, 1 in Toulouse, and a few people joining in the next month or 2. And actually, they're all in France. So Team France is strong. Team California, Team America is they have vowed to catch up, and that's on them. They can. Also, the hiring around the rest of the world is a big priority for us, absolutely, in the long term too. I mean, we want to address the biggest number of communities that we can reach and work with, and we know that that's going to mean having people on the team that are working a lot of different and living in a lot of different places. So a lot of the jobs that we have open today are listed as remote friendly US Europe, but we've also had some really great conversations with people in Asia and other spots recently. So we encourage people who are interested to apply no matter what, and then we can at least have the conversation.
Oh, yeah, that sounds perfect and amazing. At least something like good out of all this situation that you can actually work from the place you like.
Yeah. And the technology is getting so much better so fast. Like a year ago, we didn't have half as fun of the remote tools. And I know my microphone was not nearly as fancy. My camera was not nearly as good a year ago.
Yeah.
The hand was forced.
And it was fine that you like nobody had any equipment, and it was fine. And today, if you
we
don't
somehow
have
managed anyway.
today, if you don't have a fancy microphone, it's like, what's wrong with you? I mean, like, aren't you a
Do you
streamer?
talk to people?
Yeah.
Right. So we are live on Facebook. Hello, Facebookians. Or Facebookians. We're live on
Yeah.
Twitter. We are like Twitter disabled the live button. I found it and I got us back. So we're still live on Twitter. We
Okay.
are we are
That's-
live on Twitch. Hello, Twitcherians. We are
Oh my
live.
God.
Twitchers. No.
That sounds like something different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alek again started with his awesome jokes. Yeah, as usual.
I mean, we need to warm up. We need to warm up. Usually, the way it starts is that I'm doing some techie stuff, and that's the interesting part of the show when I'm like somewhere there, and Liara and Karina lead the show, and then I get back, and then stuff becomes a bit different. But right,
Yeah.
do we want to warm up for a bit more, or do we start? What do we say?
I'm fine starting. I don't know. What about you?
Okay, so Liara, did you study Orbit website? Can you pitch Josh?
Oh no.
Orbit?
I'm not
No?
making intros. No.
You're
No.
not making intros.
I looked through the website, but I'm not gonna make an intro. It's tradition that Alek is making intro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and nobody likes my intro, so
Well, maybe
just
people do. Maybe it's just only me who don't like. It's okay.
right. So I'm a bit humble with that, but like, let me rehearse. Josh Dzielak, or how do you pronounce your surname?
Very close. Dzielak. Just with a
Dzielak.
J
Dzielak.
sound. Yep, that's it right
Dzielak.
there. Yeah.
Perfect.
It is not pronounced how it is spelled phonetically English-wise. So
Perfect. Josh
that's
Dzielak.
okay. Like Jello.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hence my
Dzielak.
internet handle everywhere is just pronounced Jello,
Yay.
like the food.
Okay. Good.
Good.
So 3, 2, 1. Let me do a boring intro. Hello. We are here with Josh Dzielak from Orbit, a co-founder and quite known developer relations professional. And we gonna discuss today several things. We are right now in Discord. You are welcome to join us after this 40-ish minutes. We'll be in a public channel in a voice mode, so you can talk to us and Josh and ask questions and just hang out and meet other people. But for the next 40 minutes, we gonna discuss several things. Orbit model, I'm a fan. In our Discord, we have Avocado Chat where we actually geek around Discord model. They also have Discord server. That's what we're gonna discuss too. And before that, they had Slack, and they don't have it anymore. And why?
Nice.
That's what we're going to discuss today. And that's what we're going to ask Josh, who is a CTO and co-founder of Orbit. Did I mess anything up in the intro?
No, it was perfect.
See, so everybody who is normally unhappy about my intros, I am hereby approved by a professional.
Only me is usually I'm the one who is not happy about your intro. So it's okay.
Right.
Go on.
But you were very happy about this. No, this. About the migration of orbiters?
Yes, I was very happy about the gift that you sent. It was very cute.
Oh, nice! It doesn't work. So I broke something.
It's okay. It's
We
usual.
Broke the internet again. That happened. Oh no!
It's very fragile, the internet.
It is.
If its feelings get hurt, it can go away for hours.
Yeah.
We will have to repeat the joke, and
Oh no, that's already becoming very cringy.
we will have to repeat the joke and behave like it's a funny joke. So
okay, I will test my actress skill.
but you were
So-
very happy about this.
Yes.
No, this.
Yes, I was. Oh my god.
So look, the migration of orbiters. This is the document that Josh, that your team sent to people on your Slack, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And
Yes, we did.
let's put a bit of a background. So Orbit model is a tool, an API, and a model for developer relations professionals, right?
That is right. It is kind of all of those things in one. When we say orbit model, we usually refer to the general philosophy, the way to visualize the community as the multiple layers, the GitHub project, which is our kind of open source documentation for it, and then there's kind of Orbit, the company, and we're building the app and the tooling, the API, and the platform that makes it really easy to practice the Orbit model and to manage a community with it.
And your camera is behaving like two cubes. Is it only for me or
No, it's all for
No.
me also.
Would you like to switch off the cam and switch it back off?
Yes, I'm happy to do that.
So people who have been from the very start with us, you have enjoyed above normal number of technical glitches. But
No,
hey,
it's
that's
usual.
part of the
It's
fun.
pretty usual.
That's
Last time
part
it
of the
was
fun.
worse. Last time you finished the stream even in the middle of the stream. So
Jean is sending lots of love to Orbit. Thanks, Jean.
love or love?
Love.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like many people love Orbit, and like I love the idea of Orbit overall, and I love their website.
I was trying to
Uh,
understand
and-
like from the website, and I didn't quite get what's going on there.
But since it's a multi-layer thingy, it's lots of stuff. But basically,
Yeah,
you're
you're
back.
back.
Yay.
You're back.
I'm
Camera's
back.
working.
All
We're
of
going
Discord
through-
crashed. Is the camera okay now? Is it better?
No.
It's
You
raised again.
look static, yeah.
Oh no. Let me change the resolution because
Mhm.
that could be it. I have a wired internet connection here that's very fast, so I know it's not that.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad.
Right. So
Oh no.
I feel actually that I really like Orbit as well, especially after Ollie presented the idea to me, because I was trying to figure it out myself. And then at some point, Ollie knew how to present it, I guess. And yeah, since you already kind of mentioned that I have a
Right.
sales background, it was super interesting to me to see how's that all integrated with sales. But maybe we can postpone this
yeah.
this
And-
topic
Yes,
for a
please.
little
Yes,
further.
please.
When Josh is
Not
back.
sales.
Well, no, I mean, like a
Yeah,
big
because
problem. A big
Last
problem.
time we started conversation about sales, and I was like, "Yeah, so fun, so fun."
Okay, no more. Sales and banks, two topics Lera doesn't like.
Also,
Uh,
blockchain.
Yeah, that's a third
Right.
one.
We
Okay.
figured it out hard. People online asking Josh if you have a cam link.
I do.
Yeah. So the problems that we had with the stream last time was because of the cam link. And if you switch back to the potato cam in your laptop, or do you have a desktop?
I'm on a Mac Mini right now.
No.
But
So you don't have a
I-
potato cam.
I do have. I can do that. It will just require 1 minute. I can grab a microphone camera from the other room.
That's cool. We
Yeah.
have an avocados chat in our
Discord. Yes.
Yeah, and we have an avocado chat in our Discord, and we actually mention Orbit quite often here. And each time I'm asking, like, so okay, I think I asked Jean, you're here. Hello. Last time was like, hey, from Cycle CI. So how's your luck with that? Did you integrate it? And he was like, we're working on that. And many people that I ask, what's your luck with Orbit? They're like, we're working on that. So it's very, very interesting to figure out how Orbit works when actually people implement it and it works nicely.
Can you explain to me, like, briefly, like, not just a simple stupid person?
Right. So I mean, we are three, right? But imagine we're a big organization and you manage community or you work in developer relations, and then your boss comes to you and says, so you've been busy for a month, what you've been doing, and how do I can you explain me how does your work affects our business? And you're like, yeah, I've been replying to people on Discord, I've been replying to some emails, I've been doing I was very busy for a month, but I don't know.
And I went to a couple of parties to meet all those people.
Yes,
like
that
back
also.
in the times.
That also. So Orbit sort of helps you to justify your existence.
So, like, how it's gonna change my workflow? So, like, okay, I gonna stop replying the messages and writing emails, or how does it work exactly?
No, you will be able to. So I'm sure when Josh is back, he gonna reply it better. Since I mean I looked into that, but they didn't implement it. So people on all the channels correct me if I'm wrong. But the way I understand Orbit works is that it monitors like the community.
Okay.
Whatever happens on GitHub, whatever on your like company's GitHub, whatever happens with your social accounts, it's like automated CRM for your community with analytics and numbers that just get generated. And it allows you to figure out who does what in your community. Did somebody with
Okay.
lots of followers talk about your business, about your tools? Did somebody with a few followers but lots of passion, I mean, talks about your tool from morning to evening? Probably you won't engage with them as well. So Orbit helps you figure out what is going on with your huge community and figure out actions on that. And they a bit updated like their terms and all that, but it was all about love and reach, right? So the whole model allows you to focus either on love or on reach, or like there's something in between, but these are like the important points.
Okay.
Yeah, people suggesting to remove the gambling from the chain. That's what Josh is working on right now. Let's hope he gets back. And let's
Yes.
hope anybody from the stream, did you actually use Orbit? Are you fans? Did you look into the website? Did you try Orbit? Anybody? Anyone?
Back.
Any channels?
You're back.
I'm
We
back.
can see and hear you. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing progress considering what was happening, which was not seeing me, I guess. I've been listening in and everything sounds great so far. Ali, the explanation there is really spot on. So thank you for doing that while I tried to find an old camera.
But judging
You're
from
still
Anke's
cubes.
smiles, yes, you're still cubes.
You like
Oh my
appeared for a
gosh.
few
For some
seconds
reason,
and then
at the very beginning, yeah, for a couple of seconds it's there, and then it's gone again.
it's freezing and then it's cubes. Very nice.
Are you
That
sure
is-
you have selected the proper cam, like in this drop down in Discord?
Yeah, I have the cam there. I wanted to change the audio quality or the video quality, but I don't know where it's I don't know where that's
It's
possible.
not about the quality, your internet is great. It's about the cam link. it somehow
It's about
doesn't.
now. It's
Camlink.
just a Logitech Brio, no Camlink. Should I just do the 1996 let's restart the computer
You can
thing?
try.
I'm so
You can
sorry about
try.
this. I've on Discord quite a bit, and but today, of course, the demo gods or the live event gods are having their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. We're used to this, so it's fine.
Interesting
Take your time.
how while we warmed up, everything worked perfectly, and we were like, okay,
And
now
then
we're
I
going live.
came.
And then I came in. Well, if yeah, I suppose I could give that a try then if that's the best idea. If you can't,
But you are sure
videos,
that under this camera icon that it's your webcam that is selected, right? Like under your window.
yeah, if I change it to the cam link, then it sort of breaks. It freezes all of Discord. I don't even know if you can hear me now.
Yes,
No,
we
we
do.
can.
We
Oh, it's
can.
quite
We
bad.
do hear you. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yay. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Right. People who are for some reason still with us. Thank you. Thank you, I guess. Okay. Right. Then let's talk about Slacks. I have logged out of 10 Slack servers today. I decided to clean up my mess. And yeah, the Orbit's dead, now defunct Slack server was one of that. Also leftovers from conferences.
You move and you're not freezing. Oh my
can move.
god!
Yay!
So he's real. He is real.
It's
It's not just a
working.
picture.
Yay.
Okay.
Let's take another 3 seconds for the stress, to settle down. And I know, let's get back to your proposal, the documentation of migrating Orbit from Slack to Discord. And this GIF is super fun, the migration of orbiters. And overall, in Orbit, like you have custom emojis, both in Slack and right now in Discord. And looks like you take design seriously. So do you have a designer? Do you, I know, how comes you take design seriously? You're a tool for developers. Developers, it's a console and stuff. Why design? Why it's important?
Good. That's a good question. I think design is a lot about the relationship that people have with the tool that we're building, and we want people to feel like Orbit is a place that they want to be, is fun, is not fatiguing. I will say that the space of tools that are maybe sales and marketing or community focused are not associated with being like fun and pleasant and happy to be inside of. And one of the ways I think we see the world is from a user experience and design perspective, like all the tools that community people and marketing and sales people too in the future are going to use. Their standards for those tools are going to be just as high as everything else that's out there today. And the user experience, the bar has just been raised quite a bit. So we've thought about that a lot in what we've been building so far. We don't have a full-time designer on the team, but we do contract with a number of people. And in a daring moment, we're even as engineers or other people on the team willing to try our own ideas and and just kind of have fun with that. We're still at that company stage where everything doesn't have to be totally on brand or perfect. We can experiment, we can play around, we can see what the community has a reaction to. My co-founder Patrick has birds that are nesting, I guess, in his backyard, and it's been a really nice thing for him during the confinement to feel like he's got some other living thing to connect to. And so that's where the idea of the migration and creating this bird sticker for as an incentive for the people who went from Slack to Discord early, or I think it just anybody gets it eventually if they make it over to Discord. That's a bird, and it symbolizes the migration and also symbolizes Patrick's backyard having flora and fauna in it.
Okay. Okay, that sounds fun. So you are back to being a picture, but since we saw you animated, we trust you're alive. So I guess let's let's leave it as this and
It's
just
gonna
live
be
with
like a
this.
podcast.
Just live with this, right, people? We will just live with
Too
this.
bad, but okay.
I mean,
I've
if you
done
cannot,
everything I can.
yeah,
Maybe it will
exactly.
unfreeze. We'll wait. Magically.
That would be really great. I don't. Being frozen is not very fun. My laptop is
No.
not here with me. Oh well.
It's also nice to watch the concurrent viewers graph that like goes up and then goes down. Oh well, we'll issue a recording of that.
Yeah.
That's technology. Oh my goodness, very unpredictable. But you can hear me okay. It's just my
Yes.
video.
Yes. Also, I wonder, like, what's up with the camera, with my camera? Good.
Why everything is so wrong today? Good.
Has
Yeah.
anyone checked Mercury? Is it a full moon? Is it?
It's not wrong. It's meant to be like this.
Yeah.
Maybe we meant to I don't know, launch a podcast and
Yeah.
just
Hello,
listen to
Eddie.
it.
Eddie's here. Eddie, you are late, but for the last 26, actually more, 30 minutes, we've been battling with technical issues. So you missed a bit of awkwardness, but that's pretty much it. But we're continuing with the awkwardness, so if you're here for that, don't leave. Yeah, Eddie. But last week we yes, Eddie.
Okay.
I mean, last week we recorded with Eddie, and he also used Camlink, and also there was some problems with the audio async, and we figured out how to fix it. Now we have a bot named Carl, and Carl sits along us right here. I can actually show Carl. And what Craig, sorry, Craig. I'm sorry. So what Craig does, Craig records audio tracks of all people in the chat separately, and those are going to be for different audio tracks. So to fix any async in post. So
yeah, but right now we have issues with cameras, and we don't have a bot who gonna replace the video. We need to think
Actually,
about
talking
this.
about Eddie, it's quite interesting how we've discussed that he's not using the video calls, right, on Discord, and he's not using Discord as a tool for recording and for videos. So I was wondering if George is using it this way, since all the community is there.
Well, I saw in
like,
document that they're actually using the voice calls there.
We are, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the reasons we wanted to migrate too, was just to have the really quick entry for audio and voice. Get to know the community better, because we can't be having meetups right now in person. So we wanted to have to just have a lot more like FaceTime and voice time with people in the community, and thought that the voice channels would be a really good way to do that. And so we've done that quite a bit, like once a week.
But you have only one single voice chat, as I see.
Yeah, we have one single one. We have a couple of other roles and some other channels, in particular around with customers. So one of the things we had in Slack was shared channels with a lot of our early customers, so we could talk about their implementations and things like that. And that actually migrated to Discord really well, because we give a role for each different customer that we want to have conversations with in Discord, and we have a voice channel inside of each one of those. So if we're debugging a customer issue, we can do that right inside of Discord, and that's what's nice actually.
Obviously, I just cannot see that.
Dropping this.
Obviously, I just cannot see that.
You can't, because you need a role.
He's just used to that. He's moderating everything in our community, so he can see every chat there, even girls' chat. And we cannot kick him out from there, so he used to the privileged one, but right now,
Always a spy.
We will. We are happy to make a channel there. Absolutely. If we can get you set up on Orbit, and then we just talk through like, what are you connecting Orbit to, and what
Right.
do you do?
But then, Josh, shall we settle that you are two spinning cubes and get it from there, or do you still want to battle with the technology? What's your mood? Do you feel like two spinning cubes?
Very very good question. I don't know what to do about the cubes, and let me. Oh boy, yeah, my laptop is quite far away. It's actually on a different floor of the building. Ugh. 1 second.
We can't freeze for some reason.
Maybe the problem is that the camera says,
This is so weird. We have
Look,
your
For
camera
some
on freeze.
reason.
It's on freeze.
you turned away, and it was like, yeah, let's show his back.
What is going on?
Oh my
Can
God.
you?
I guess your
can
camera
you-
doesn't like you. Maybe that's the reason.
Oh my goodness. This is 2 different cameras now I've tried. Oh, it's so sad.
Works now for some reason.
But it
Just-
works now.
Yes. let's like keep your hands off the device. Let's hope it just works.
Okay.
And
Move it all, I guess.
just to make it all easier, let me do the creepy intro again. Hello, people who are still with us. For the last 30 minutes, we had such an enormous fun of making cabling work, and it didn't. So for 30 minutes, our curve of people watching us was like up and down. You are still here with us, and we love you so much as we love Orbit, actually. And we loved Orbit to an extent that we invited Josh to talk about Orbit and about how they use their community. It was in Slack, now it's in Discord. Why? What is Orbit? How? And all the amazing ways they use Discord community. That's what's gonna happen in the next 20 minutes, and then we'll do off air, not on the record, hangout with Josh in the audio chat.
So funny that
And,
again he freeze
Yeah.
after you creepy intro.
So maybe it's the creepy intros that breaks the point, but well, let's just settle down that Josh is a set of spinning cubes, and let's talk actually about Orbit and about Discord.
Yeah,
So-
let's talk about Discord and Slack. Let's just say how bullshit is Slack, and that's why I'm here actually.
Good. Lara, shall we try for the third time to make a joke about how you liked the migrating orbiters?
No, please, okay, stop.
But look, like migrating orbiters, it's
Oh my
so fun.
god. Oh my god. I
So
feel
that's
like I got into some loop, like where we making the creepy intro, then like you're making this joke, then again we were discussing how camera doesn't work,
And
then
then
it
Josh-
works, then again you're in creepy intro. I wanna get away from here. I'm sorry.
Let's break
Right.
it with some other discussion.
Yes,
Let's break it with some
I
other
told
discussion.
you. Let's just say how
Good.
bullshit is Slack.
Go.
I never used it.
How do you know it's bullshit?
Because I'm not using it. This is obvious. If I'm not using something, it means that it's bullshit. Big brain.
Okay. Okay. Josh, did you have an experience of trying to discuss Slack and Discord with Zoomers? If that's your first time, it's gonna get worse.
We just asked people, I guess. When we decided, like a lot of people were telling us, maybe you should think about Discord. It has all these amazing features, and it's a really good place to host a community. And we just talked to people who were already doing that, and to kind of decide, people who had tried to build communities in Slack and in Discord, and like learning from their experiences. And then, at one point we had enough activity where the Slack message limit started to come into play, so we couldn't have the messages beyond the 10,000 messages and all of that. So that was a little bit of an inflection point too. But we just had a lot of smart community people say it will be easier for you to do this over on Discord, and here's a bunch of reasons why. And we had someone offer to help, which was huge because we didn't have a lot of Discord experience on the team just yet. So we worked with someone who was like, step by step, I can take you through this. The learning curve is not that big. You'll figure it out. Here's how to educate your community. A lot of people, their first time on Discord. So it was like getting help was really great. I think if we had tried to go it totally alone, it would have been a lot harder.
And now it's an echo plus echo. I mean, if the broken cam was not enough, we now have an echo into the chat. Echo, you are very welcome. We were missing you. I mean, that's the only thing that was missing from this awesome discussion.
Yes.
But so you mentioned that you didn't like the message limit in Slack, and you promised audio hangout for your community. What was there any resistance, or like, no, Discord, what's Discord? My 14-year-old user said I don't want to use that thing. Did you have any resistance?
No, not too much. Mostly just curiosity and wondering if there were going to be people there to support and to help out. Maybe a little bit of surprise, like, oh, you can use or you would use Discord for something like this. So we just had to say, yeah, like we can have the same things that we like, and we can have other things on top of that too. But we didn't have anyone say like a hard no, I don't want to do it. I think of all the people, the 100 or 200 people that we sent out the survey to, I don't think we got one person say like, this is the hill I'm going to die on. I'm leaving your community if you move.
Okay. What inspired me that one of the reasons to join Discord from Slack was like, hey, we can play games. And right now I am showing Patrick inviting everybody to play Scribble, and it's like, hey, that's what we do in this community. And just a reminder, Orbit community are hardcore developers, developer relations professionals.
That's why it's so fun to play with them in Scribble.io, because it's like, nobody can draw. And, when people who cannot draw start to draw, it's like, it's hilarious. I love it very much. We need to try this also.
Do it. Do it. Do it. I saw with us, Josh. Or
no, he's not.
No, he's not. Oh, very nice.
So we're just chilling, three of us. So yeah, let's bullshit Slack. What the hell is like? You can send only 10. How many messages?
10,000, and after that, like all the archive is being deleted.
What the hell is this? I don't like it. Why would you do that?
I mean, we discussed Slack on our first show.
Yes,
so probably,
but I still like to bullshit it. It's okay.
There is also Microsoft Teams.
No, it's something even worse. It's no.
How do you know? I mean, you guess it right, but like, how do you know? It's
because
also
it sounds like already Microsoft Teams. Who hell would use it?
It's an interesting. I mean, it has its own convenience if you're using Microsoft corporate like thingy for everything, and you just integrate it and it's easy and it's nice. But yeah.
Ew, still disgusting.
Right. Okay.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
I'm on my phone now.
I'm not breathing.
Just gone to hell.
Just in case.
Oh, intro, please. No.
No intro. Okay, so where do we start?
Nope. Don't
we already started.
Do you want to take the lead?
Orbit, the carpet.
Yeah.
Yay.
Our little here. I don't know if you can.
It's frozen for me again.
We could, and now you're frozen again. So I guess it's
karma. It's just karma. So people who are still with us, let's enjoy this, and let's I know.
Yeah, let's at least have some fun. I don't know.
Let's at least have some fun. So by now it's obvious we won't ship this as a video, but let's just have this as an audio conversation. Just just for ourselves at least, or
Yes.
so for those of you who are still with us, so
It's,
they understand what is orbit and why it's there, and
The best fans love them very much. Yes. Heart.
yeah. How do I
Hi,
get
I'm
back?
back.
Yes, you are.
Is it better? I'm now totally on 4G and on the phone. I'm trying to change every variable possible to make this work. I don't know if this is better.
Yes.
Well, at least you move. Yes, it's good.
At least you move, and the orbit.
That's
And
really
like who
better.
painted it? Is it what's that?
It's just a little carpet that I found on a website and used. It was a rug,
Okay.
but I felt like it was just much better to put it up there. And then we have a little orbit sign that I printed out. We have a little kitchen here in the office
Mhm.
with 6 or 7 different ways to make coffee.
Nice.
Very
Mhm.
important. We have a Chemex, a Clever, 2 different sizes of pour over, 2 different ways to make
And you're hiring. I
espresso.
mean, while you're on that, you're also hiring. I saw this on the website. That it just like you open up orbit.love, and it's like such a nice domain name, orbit.love. It resonates with me so much. And there is a pop-up. We're hiring. So who are you hiring?
We're hiring developer advocates, community advocates, software engineers, um, and we're at that stage where we're just like opportunistically talking to amazing people too who are passionate about building what we're building and think that like community is kind of a big part of the future of business and everything. So even if someone is out there listening and saying, "Oh, there's not a role for me on the page, but I really want to work with this company," you can just email me and like let's talk about it because we're pretty flexible.
But it's only
But
for amazing people. What's your definition of amazing people?
well, I would say the amazingness is really in the eye of the person themselves. So if someone believes that they're amazing, I'm willing to listen to that argument. It's maybe not for me to judge whether they're amazing or not, but if they tell me that they're amazing and then like here's why I'm amazing and here's why, I just would be so happy and so fun building this thing and working in this company that like I'm gonna listen to that every time.
Lera, you're artist, so you're not a developer, but want to give you a try to see if Josh thinks you're amazing. We won't let you go, but still.
So yeah, what's the point of trying then? Because I'm stuck here already. So.
To figure out if Josh thinks you're amazing.
At least you think that I'm amazing. That's enough for me, you know.
Okay.
You do.
Okay.
You do think like that.
So out of the blue, so she does many things for us, and
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
like
Tell
we
good
ask her
things
to do
about me.
something, and then she returns back with a piece of art. So recently we asked her to do something, and then she drew a girl with a kitchen with a chicken, and it's like, yeah, look, a girl with a chicken.
It was boring sales call. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, very interesting. I'm
Let
really
me-
into it.
That's
Let
why I'm
me-
not breaking in right now, you see?
Because
Isn't that a Murakami novel, The Girl with the Chicken? I forget it.
no, I
I
don't-
maybe out of my element here, but sounds like a really interesting way to make a call more fun.
I know, right? You know, they're talking about their serious shit, like, you know, sales, blah, 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 money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. Oh, you're showing my Twitter. So
Yes,
nice.
I'm showing your Twitter and the girl with the chicken, and it says something in Japanese. So I don't know, Josh, if this falls under the definition of amazing, but what
Well,
amazing is in our way.
I can't see it because I'm too scared to touch anything on my screen
Yes.
lest I turn into
Very
Fox
wise.
again. But I'm gonna look after and I'm gonna well, give my honest opinion on the amazingness of what this thing is that's being
Good.
shown.
I also want to touch a bit on Orbit, just for a few more things, because how do you explain Orbit to people, since it to my best understanding it doesn't have a proper graphical user interface, since it depends on how you implement this, right? So how do you show Orbit?
Good question. No, now it very much does. It's an application, runs in the browser. Um, you log in. Some of the screens are ones that show you the list of the members in your community, individual member profiles, who that member is on Twitter or GitHub, where you've interacted with them, an activity timeline of everything that's happening in your community, and then some charts, graphs, reports. So we very much graduated to the oh wow, this is an app that I can come and log into and visit. I can take notes on members. I can start to group them, tag them so I can find them later. So yeah, now it's we've graduated beyond the command line and the idea. We had an Airtable out there for a while that a lot of people were using just to practice the ideas, but now it's a real site, a real app.
Yes, and there is an open source part and there is a closed source part, as I understand, right? So what's Orbit model on the GitHub?
Yeah,
And it looks beautiful. There is a picture.
Mm.
good question. We do have a picture there. It's our kind of understand everything in a glance. It's a lot to take in that one. But the open source part is the orbit model itself, the documentation, the just the set of ideas that we need a different way of thinking about communities than the traditional sales and marketing funnel. That's kind of one of the big ideas behind the orbit model is that we can't think of community members that we're trying as people we're trying to push through a funnel and make and only like continue to build relationships with them if they continue to go through that funnel. But the orbit model is more nonlinear, non-binary. Community members are at different places all the time, and what or the experience that they might need at that moment really depends on what their participation has been historically in the community, what their goals are, what they're trying to do. So it's not just what am I trying to get out of this person being here. It's what value can we give to them? What are they looking for to move closer into the community? In the orbit model, we've got the sun at the center, the kind of center of gravity, and so we ask, like, why are people here? What would make them be even more interested so that they move inward? Or if they're drifting away, if their engagement is decreasing, if we're not seeing them anymore, they're falling out of the orbit, then we can ask, like, oh, what's happening?
So
Mhm.
wait,
Pretty much, it looks like, yeah, sorry, I will just pop in quickly. Pretty much, it looks like a great instrument for someone who already has their community, just to understand the community, to understand their interests, and to understand how they engage with each other. But what about the companies who don't have a community yet and still don't really know or not really sure if they need one? Is there something for them? Like, do you approach those guys as well, those companies?
Yeah, good question. It depends on if they've if a light bulb has gone on or gone turned on somewhere with someone at the company where they think that the community might be an important part of their business strategy, whether that's helping them acquire new leads, new customers, or it's helping them like retain and increase the usage from the people that they already have. If no one in the organization has the light bulb go off, like we need the community. We might not know much about community and how to implement that in our business yet, but we're willing to learn. Like if someone's had that moment, then we can work with them and we can, even if they don't have a community today, they probably have customers. And if they have customers, there might be a reason for those customers to talk to each other, or there might be some value that they can create for each other. And so we can take them on a kind of step-by-step process. But there has to be intention there. There has to be someone to lead that. There has to be someone who cares. And it's not just like a buzzword, like, oh, we heard community is big, let's build a community. If it's that, it's probably not going to work. And that person's going to have a hard time being successful with the Orbit set of tools in the Orbit ecosystem right now because we can't like get people to cross that chasm. We can bring the horse, where it's like once the horse is there, the horse can drink the water. Getting the horse there, I think that's something everybody in the community space right now is focusing on quite a bit. Like, how do we get people who've never thought about community as a way to build a business to start thinking about it that way? And
do
that's
you see
really
this
exciting.
changing? Do you see this changing? Like that somebody, like everybody cares about the community right now. And if everybody, as in, is it salespeople? Is it business people? Is it product people? Like, do you see that suddenly everybody needs Orbit, everybody needs a community, or is it just in my head because I want it be there?
Yeah, I think when word of mouth and referral can be very powerful growth and retention and expansion strategies, I think there's usually a really good place to build like a good incentive there to build a community. And it also just reflects so much of how the way that people buy and how that's changing quite a bit. People expect to have something referred to them by their friends. We live in the internet age. You can go online and see a million reviews about anything. People have and consumers have, buyers of B2B or B2C tools have so much information at their fingertips and so many people they can reach out to get an opinion about something. And so that changes the way marketing and sales works because it's not always you who's telling the person that, it's their friend who's had an experience firsthand or secondhand or third hand that's going to be the person ultimately giving their opinion on whether someone should check out your service or your product or not. And that kind of changes the game. Like you need the advocates out there in the field who've had positive experiences with your company, with your brand, with whatever it is you're making, because a potential buyer might not come to you first. They're going to come to all of those people first and say, like, tell me what you really think about company X or company Y or some organization. And so, that's one of the shifts that we see powering because everybody's connecting. There's a million ways to communicate. It's really easy to get in touch with people who've had an experience with a product or service, or just look at it anywhere someone is sharing that. And so that doesn't it changes the nature, I would say, of how marketing and sales will work in the future. Just the very process of like, how do we generate leads? Where are they coming from? What is a lead versus someone who's just like hanging out and we shouldn't try to push through quite yet.
The definition
And
of the future, is it like 2021, 2025? I don't know, or in 100 years? Like you say that like that's when the marketing and sales gonna think differently about the community, and when is
I
that future?
think it depends on the industry, but it's quite soon. I would say if you're in the developer industry at all already, making a product for developers or doing something open source, that's already becoming obvious that that's a huge part of the go-to-market strategy. You put the tools in developers' hands, let them make them successful with it, let them do that for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, build a relationship, and then that's what leads to a productive commercial conversation down the line. And trying to rush that, trying to force that early can have negative consequences in terms of pushing people away. So in the developer space, maybe because this is how it's worked for a long time, or developers are notoriously allergic to a lot of forms of sales and marketing, we're just seeing that happen very quickly. Other industries, it's not going to be 2021 where necessarily the big changes are happening, but I don't think it's 100 years away. I think it's in the next 5 to 10 years.
I'm
But
just nodding rapidly. Karina, as a salesperson, what kind of numbers would you like to see, like from a DevRel of your community person? Like what numbers would you like to see to justify their existence?
Well, yeah, to justify that it actually works, ideally, I know that you mentioned something about funnels previously, but this is the instrument that is being used in sales. And I mean, not much changed since the very beginning, right? So ideally for me, I would love to see the funnel, how it goes. This is my sales instrument, and that's actually the way I measure, right? Like different sources. And I actually perfectly can see how it could be done through Orbit. So as a salesperson, as a person who is responsible for sales, or let's say business development, Orbit as an instrument gives me actually an understanding how I can measure some community activities that will be there for, I don't know, certain period of time. So I'm probably asking and answering the question at the same time, but it's actually yeah, interesting. I mean, that's a completely new instrument for me. That's why I'm thinking like, why I haven't searched for something like that before? Why I haven't thought about this before?
And what about the terms? They, instead of whatever leads and other salesy terms, they have love and reach. Does this sound appealing to you? Love and reach. Like,
There is
can you
also
project money onto the love and reach and not leads?
well, let's not like monetize everything, and let's not put me like as a person who is all about the money, but and there is also well, I can totally see it. I can totally see how it could be integrated in the sales funnel, and sounds good to me.
One of the visual metaphors we have is like the ice cream cone, where you have the orbit on top of the funnel, and you have the ice cream that is sort of melting down into the funnel, and that's that visually models the represent or the concept. If you build a super active community that has a ton of gravity, is attracting new people, keeping the people who are there, getting them even more engaged, naturally, so many good things come out of that. And leads is one of them for sure. If you have a really passionate community, especially in the developer world, like those developers are going to want to use that technology the next time that they are talking to their boss or trying to influence a purchasing decision at their company. So it's really the there's a great set of outcomes that come from building the community. What people are generally looking for is how to track or how to measure the the rate at which the activity in the community in the orbits is affecting what goes into the funnel. Either the top of the funnel is obvious, like people are finding the business through the community, so that's purely like a top of the funnel type of situation. Community is the discovery engine, but there's a lot more to it too. Deeper in the funnel for people who are already customers, they might be expanding their usage quite a bit based on other tools they're finding in the community. They might be referring other people that they're friends with at other companies. So some people say, oh, community is just for a way to increase the top of the funnel for companies. And I think it's a lot more than that. That's certainly a very powerful way, is the discovery and the awareness and the acquisition building. But any stage in the funnel, if the lead or the opportunity inside of that funnel, their mindset, their decision to purchase is being influenced by all this great community stuff that they see, then it just helps them get through the funnel faster, with less friction, less hand holding. And so we in the sales world we have things like close rates go up and time to close goes down when there's an amazing community, because it's kind of like the community has already sold the person on what they want to do, and now the salesperson is just guiding them through that process versus having to really get them to make up their mind. Like the best thing is they've already made up their mind and like, I want to pay you. Tell me how to pay you. How much is it going to be? That's the best outcome. Like I already know what I need to know. Community has told me the documentation. My friend over here, I already know everything to do. Like I need to pay. I want to understand what that's like. That's like the best conversation that can have.
So Karina already looks very excited, but what about Lera? So how do you talk a community focused person to be excited about Orbit? How do you normally pitch Orbit to community people?
I don't pitch anything in our community. That's the
Now I'm
whole
asking Josh,
purpose of me.
how can he pitch Orbit to you so you're happy and you're like, stop everything, we are implementing Orbit in our community. So how to make a community manager and a community person excited about Orbit?
Yeah, it's a great question. One way that one of our community members described Orbit, and we started to do it that way, was the single pane of glass into the community. Having everything in one screen, even if it's happening on Discord, Twitter, GitHub, YouTube, any of these other areas, having that unified onto a member's profile and then an activity timeline across the whole community. Those features have been really popular for community managers in particular, because they're having to jump less around the tools that they have, and then just be able to see things in one place. So that the kind of operational nature, having a place to put stuff, not having to make a spreadsheet. Again, a lot of communities have a lot of their information in spreadsheets, and Orbit will import CSV, export CSV, import JSON, export JSON. A lot of features in the tool to make it easy to get data in and out. But when it's not in a spreadsheet, then there's a lot of other cool stuff that comes along with it. A really great search is another example. So we have a search in the app, search by community member's name, their handle on GitHub or Discord, whatever it is, and then that will pull up that member right away. So a lot about saving time. at the end of the day.
Lera doesn't look particularly excited. Lera, so
Mm.
what in that pitch did not work with you?
I don't know. Not sure.
Let's see what else.
I
I'd have
I
to
mean, from
know
what I hear,
more.
Josh, that you're saying like, look, there is more work onto you. You have to implement this. You have to talk, you have to tell programmers to stop what they're doing, implement Orbit, and then you will have more work to do or less work to do.
I see. Yeah, the idea is less work. And you don't the integrations work automatically. There you can add your own code and add your own stuff after the fact. But I think for every person, whether Orbit's going to be useful to them comes down to what does their day-to-day job look like and what are they trying to do. So if reporting is a big part of your expectations, then Orbit's going to help you a lot because you got the reports. If it's mostly engaging with community members, hosting events, like we don't have anything special for events today. Like I'll totally be
Yes, but
transparent
you
about
have to
that.
but you have to figure out
Um,
what community members are most important and reach out to them. Perhaps, give them
yeah,
attention. I know, send them swag, talk to them, partner with them, whatsoever. If people are excited and talking about you, maybe they have lots of followers. Maybe they're just so passionate. Maybe they have few followers, but they're so skillful that they can, I know, do you an awesome demo. And you cannot figure out these users unless you have very few of them or unless you use Orbit. That's pretty much my pitch.
yeah.
Did it work?
Finding people, finding people that are really interesting that you didn't know yet. It can be a pretty fun one. Like, oh, this person joined the community. I didn't know that they worked at this company. I didn't know that they built this project. And or yeah, I didn't know that they also do these things on Twitter. That's one of the things, at least from my personal experience using Orbit as a community person. I look forward to getting the notification that says this person is starting to get active in the community, and like here's some other things that they do that we find interesting. Maybe as a community manager, you have to decide who am I going to spend my energy with, and especially if the community is thousands of people, it becomes kind of important. So we're starting to get better at that, but we do have the basic features where we try to say like, oh, this person, their engagement's really ramping up. Here's something you might do. Maybe it's sending them swag. Here's a person where their engagement is really trailing off. They used to be super excited and we haven't seen them in a few months. Maybe reach out, have a conversation, see if something happened. Maybe they changed jobs, maybe they had a life event. We don't recommend those exact steps, but we can tell you someone used to be really active and we haven't seen them in a while.
Well, that's cool. Now let's talk about your awesome community. And just before we jump, then people are gonna kill me if I don't ask this question. So I'm showing your website where both Slack and Discord are noted as coming soon. Um, do you have a definition of soon?
Yeah, great question. The Slack integration is in beta. We are probably launching that next week or two. I'll say so that's like really ready to go. The Discord integration is in progress being built. I'd say the time frame around that is around a month, something like that. So we did do Slack integration first, but we're doing Discord right after it. That's the next one in the pipeline.
Yes. So Jean is excited about Discord. We actually speculated with him about like, if they move from Slack to Discord, perhaps they're gonna implement Discord very, very fast. Like, right.
Indeed, up the urgency. The urgency was already there from the voices of our community members for sure, but yeah, we want for our own sake to be able to analyze some of the awesome contributions that have been happening. So coming soon, we'll have when also we'll inside of our Orbit Discord, we create a channel for every integration that we're working on to collect feedback, suggestions, anything like that. So over on the Orbit Discord, you'll see a Discord themed integration channel. If it's not there already, we'll create that very soon. So we want as soon as we have something to share.
Yep. And let's talk about your awesome community then. So you had a community on Slack, and it was quite big, about 300 something people last time I checked, but perhaps more, right? and you
Sounds right.
had to
Yeah.
move all those people to Discord. And can you tell a bit more about why? And since it's a big move, like to move 300 people, you might lose some, right? I mean, it's always scary. And how do you do that?
Yeah, well, I mentioned a little earlier, we worked with someone who has experience doing that before, and one of their first things to say was make the plan in advance, start to get used to the environment that yourself, so you can guide other people into it. We really laid out a step-by-step plan of what what the migration path was going to look like for the customers that we had there, for each of the different channels inside of Slack. We were like, what are people getting out of that channel, and how are we going to create the same thing on Discord? So feedback channel, okay, that's really easy. That's like a one-to-one transfer. Customer conversation channels, that also ended up being pretty easy, and we got the voice channels to go along with it. Um, but it took about a month. We sent out a proposal to the whole community that outlined the basic ideas. We didn't we didn't want to say, hey everyone, we've decided we're moving. Instead, we said, help us make this decision. We think that this might be the right way to go. Here's what we're not getting out of Slack that we'd like, so on and so forth. So we made it a proposal. We let people give feedback on it. We incorporated that feedback over a couple of weeks, and then after that, we announced a decision based on all of that, based on people seeming really happy with the change, that we were going to do it, and we left a couple of weeks a couple of weeks in there. So I think giving the community a lot of notice and making sure that they felt listened to and were part of the decision making process. I think that was
And
some of the key points.
what was the main carrot? I mean, there is always like one big thing, like hey community, look, there is a carrot. If you all like start using this tool that you didn't know you need.
The carrot for, would you say for us or for the
No,
community
for
member?
them mostly.
For
Like I
them.
mean, for people, because I mean Discord. That's I mean, for many people, Discord is something their son uses to play Fortnite
Yeah.
or daughter. But
If I remember back to the document, I have to picture it in my head because I don't have it in front of me. I think we very clearly mentioned the message limit, because everybody knows that the message limit is there, and we were just starting to hit it. So that's when your DMs no longer like have the conversation that you had with someone. People just get that right away. So we talked about the message limit. We talked about the voice and the audio channels, adding like a way to get to know people in the community better. Um, for what the real carrot was, I think we just tried to lay out a couple of different a couple of different options on us being able to moderate the community at the speed at the rate that it was growing to. I mean, I think our community could understand, like, we're a small team. We're just 3 people up until January, and community of 300 people. Not having moderation tools to do that is very hard, and I think our community was empathetic about that. At least they were like, "Wow, okay, maybe maybe you want to help them out. Maybe there's something there." Especially as we grow, we have more people now, which is great on the team, so we can scale that a
so
little
how
I've
do you
seen
engage your
also.
community?
But
Karina, go.
Yeah, me. Okay. Yeah, I was about to ask. I've seen that you also offered to some of the community members who would be struggling with setting up the Discord, uh, actually the help to set it up, right? Because Discord is pretty hard to set up, but once you settle it, I mean, it's pretty hard to start using some other tools for the calls because the quality and everything is so good here. So I was wondering if there were many of people with to whom you actually helped settle it.
no, I don't think anyone yet where we've worked very deeply with them. But the invitation is really out there and really open if someone wants to do that more, and we're happy to connect anyone with like the very expert people that we worked with to help the migration too. Most of any of that is just casual chat that's happening in our Discord, since we did just do the migration. There's some good interesting threads in there around around how that's worked and what people can learn from that or what they can apply themselves. But we would love, like, my dream in the future would be to have more of more guidance around that. We will publish a blog post this week or next about the migration too. So hopefully that'll provide some more help.
I'm thinking, I mean, you have like 300 plus people who come to your community not to hang out, but to solve their problems pretty much. Is it, and you're like playing games with them, suggesting like just hangouts, does it resonate with the community? They came there for like to solve a problem. They don't want to, find new friends whatsoever. And does it make sense what I'm asking?
Yeah, I think so. We want to have games and have fun in the Discord, build connections amongst people. At the same time, the reason that a lot of people are part of the community is because they want to get the most out of their Orbit implementation, their practice of the Orbit model, their career as a community manager, developer advocate. So that's one thing we're kind of keeping an eye on is, are we achieving the right balance of, let's say, like professional conversation with casual conversation? And that's something I think we're learning about and don't have much of an opinion on yet. Slack, because everybody is in there for work, a lot of people, like their other Slack workspaces or their work, tends to be pretty work focused conversations, even in the community. And on Discord, that changes a little bit. So we've seen more casual communication, and that's one of the things that we wanted to see, was people getting to know each other a little bit more and better. But we want to make sure that there's enough space to talk about the work and that people feel like comfortable saying, exploring like the deepest problems that they're having with anything orbit related, or their something they're trying to achieve with their community goals. We want to make sure that it's also a space for that. So that
What
becomes
you're saying
tricky.
resonates with me deeply, since when you have a work focused community, people don't like people leave notifications open, and if somebody starts talking about, discussing about a movie or about a painting or about music, like the notifications pop up. In Discord, you can like easily tune it up. If you can tune it precisely to get notifications only from specific channels, or by like the rules as so reach. Did you have to educate people about that, or do they just leave notifications as mention only and that is it?
We probably should check in with people and see how they've done in terms of finding those options. I think someone posted this week that they were getting notifications about everything and weren't very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we have that pinned to our to the getting started channel on our server or not, but that'd be a good one to do if we don't. That does change
But
a
is
little bit
there,
from one.
yeah, sorry,
Go ahead.
but is there something in Slack that you actually miss? Let's give it a chance at least. I don't know, like a
Nah.
little one.
Let's see. I don't just want to say the cliche things like threads, but we haven't missed threads too much yet. I feel like a lot of the conversations where it's had to go 20 messages deep have just been okay in Discord anyway. Will that scale once we're trying to have 5 conversations 20 messages deep at the same time? It's probably a design question in terms of the channels we'll have to figure out. Keeping our eye on that one. Slack doesn't make it really easy to just pop into a thread and then have a conversation there. Um, Otherwise, we didn't have any like amazing integrations or bots or anything like that in our community Slack. I feel like if we did, maybe we would miss some of those, even though I know there's a ton of amazing Discord bots too. We haven't dug into that very deeply. But no, overall, like, I don't think there's a big killer thing that we feel like we're missing. And the lower friction for people to join the server, um, on the Discord side, even if they if it's their first Discord server, okay, there's still a little bit of friction there. We got to get them over that hump. But anyone who's already been on Discord, not having to convince people to create an entirely new Slack account just to join our community like that, that's been really great. So that's kind of the opposite answer of your question. But
Yeah.
I don't think there's really anything that I feel like, oh, we really lost it. Maybe at some point a customer will refuse and they'll say like, no, I don't want to go on Discord. But we just create a shared channel from the company Slack. Like we still use Slack for the internal team collaboration. So even if a customer or community member said I'm not really into the Discord thing, we can still service them over on Slack. They're going to miss
Oh,
out on the
interesting.
bigger community conversation, but we can set up a shared
But
channel, a
why
shared
haven't you
space.
moved the team to Discord too? I mean, if the community is there, what's the problem of missing the team? Oh, of moving
There,
the team?
there, it's the deep integrations with development platforms in particular, like GitHub, Heroku, but all of the bots and the workflows related to building and deploying the software.
Okay,
That's the
so it
big
just
the big
takes
reason.
time to move that. Are you planning, or is it like, yeah, it works with Discord? If it's
No,
working, let's not break it.
no plans yet, but we're not opposed to it. I think we're waiting to see what other how other teams manage that, and in particular on the engineering side. So certainly no, it's possible. But if we're going to move the team, then we want to see more of what the concrete benefit will be, and just make sure that we have the same kind of integrations and uh, privacy, security, the kind of administrative side. I mean, thankfully we're a small company of, so like I said, 6 people, but imagining when we'll be 60 or 600, that's where I'd be interested if there are companies out there at that scale who are running the entire company on Discord at 60 or 600 people versus Slack. Um, I'd be looking to see if there are some case studies or some people out there who did that, because I would just want to know what are we going to run into if we try something like that. But part of having the community on Discord means we get to learn about it. So if we ever did want to make that decision, we wouldn't be making it without any experience. We'd already
Yeah.
have a good base of
If somebody
usage.
is watching us and it's 600 of you and you work for the same company and you use that as your main, I know, company CRM, like tool for corporate tool, please talk to us. We would like to invite you and make an example all over the internet. Liara, I've been jumping like in front of you for the whole an hour and 17 minutes.
Yeah. No, you haven't. Just for last 30 minutes.
Okay. Would you like to jump in, ask something, reflect on something that you've heard before we release?
Not much, because you already asked the question that I was wondering about. And well, I haven't used Slack, so I cannot, tell much about that. I just know that it's shit from your stories. So
Did the problem that the community doesn't want engagement, did it resonate with you? Like, did you find it interesting that people just want to have the community silent because they get notifications?
no, I don't like this. Well, that's why I wasn't in our Discord when it was like serious Discord. Because you was always talking some serious shit there, so I turned off all notifications. And when it became fun, I finally joined it. Like, okay, now I can be here. Now I feel myself here. So for me, it
Yes.
works vice versa. So I couldn't actually relate to this.
And all the work related, so like, and all the work focus people, mostly developer advocates, they were like, hey, let's talk about random fun, and they actually got engaged in all those conversations. So Josh, for your community, perhaps that's how it's gonna
That can
end up.
work.
That can work. Like the relations that you mentioned, yes, they were built, and the people actually returned to it and started get more and more often to our community and like hang out, and it helps. It helps. We have overutilized your time, but perhaps let's do it with the last question. Either somebody online, we still have people left,
Oh wow.
or I mean, the curve of viewership is still fun. It's like it's like an elephant. Lero or Karina?
What
I
do you
mean,
want?
I've used all. I just feel bad about myself, like talking like 80% of the time. Do you have the last question before we lose Josh? or
We're
do I
used to
feel it with
that.
myself?
Unless
pretty-
Karina.
I'm pretty convinced about Discord. I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, right? But I have a question still about communities. It looks like every company that work with developers should have community, right? Is that right? Or there should be some approach to actually understand if you need the community. Like, how do you start? Where do you start from?
Or
This
is
is
Facebook page
the
enough?
most, yeah, this is the most interesting part for me because I mean, I'm still thinking about that because I imagine that lots and lots of companies still they don't have this community. They don't know where to start from. They don't know how to measure. They don't know what effect there will be on sales, not sales. And so just one piece of advice for those companies, like where to start from.
Yeah, absolutely. For the first part of the question, like, does every developer company need a community? I would say there are certain exceptions if the sales motion is going to be very top down. If the company is like, some things are just designed to be built, and then you have like seven customers or 70 customers forever, and they're all on, like, enormous multi-million-dollar contracts. And yeah, there are definitely still technology companies out there, and a lot of things in the enterprise where developer adoption doesn't have a big impact on whether that company is selling its software or not. Usually way still
Mm,
mostly just sold. And if a developer loves it, if a developer discovers it, does it matter or not? For some of the software, the answer is no. But for a lot of what's coming up now, in any situation where is the developer as the end user going to influence the purchasing decision themselves to a great deal, maybe start thinking about a community. Because otherwise, if your competitor does, then your developer is going to find their tools and suggest that first. So that's kind of the key thing. Like, is there a way for whatever you're trying to market or sell, for the end user as the developer to discover that and to influence the purchase, the purchase? If the answer is yes, we expect that, like, most developers will just find out about it and talk to each other. That's a community kind of thing. If the answer is no, the end user, like, they're going to learn about the product after the company has already bought our solution and said, hey, we're implementing this. I don't know if you need a community in that situation. You could still have one for that developer to plug into to be successful while they're trying to implement the software that the company has bought, but it's less important than as when it needs to be a discovery vector, um, for that, or when the developer is going to be expected to have a passionate voice in the decision making process around whether to buy the product or not.
I see.
So
And the very last one. Do you think that the like latest situation with the lockdown, pandemic, and everything affects somehow more companies to think about community, whether to have it or not?
Yeah, I think a lot of companies have started thinking more about community as a way to reach their audience, because some of the other ways, like traditional events, have changed. There's more competition for people's attention online as more things move online, and therefore a lot of companies realizing that the cranks that they could turn, the dials that they could turn to increase in the future, whether that could be like more outbound communications, more marketing emails, once those things, like, stop working because there's a overall saturation of the volume of communications that people are getting, then it's like, okay, we need another way to do it. And one thing that happened in 2020 is the explosion of tools in the community landscape. Like, there's just so many more tools, anything from community platforms to audio and video solutions to virtual events platforms, things like that. And you get a multiplier if you use any of those and you already are good at building an online community. Like, if you're good at online community, then events are pretty easy. Well, they're not easy, but you get a multiplier out of your online community plus your events. Just doing the events in the vacuum isn't as good. In the physical world, it didn't seem like there was quite as much interplay or a multiplier effect on all of those things. Like, sure, someone who goes to a physical event maybe they'll get your email newsletter, and so there is a connection between the digital and the physical. But now it's like you do a virtual event. We already have your attention on the computer screen or virtually. Like, what's the next thing that you might want to do? What So that loop runs a lot faster. It's a lot more immediate, but also the amount of I think the amount of conversation and the competition for attention has gone up quite a bit too. So community is a great way to stand out. It's a great way for a business to say like, what can we do that gets people excited and caring about what we're doing, and that's to try to break through the noise.
Thank you. I'm super excited about the last part.
Yeah, thanks for the really good questions.
And let's call this an hour and 25 minutes a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for those few. Actually, not that few who are still with us. Hopefully, they are all Orbit fans. Hello, and
hello.
Goodbye. I guess. Since it's time to start the show or stop the show.
All the technical difficulties. Sorry that had to be so difficult for a while, but I'm glad that finally something worked.
Yay.
It did. It did. Thank you for your time and for your stories and for your intel. And yeah, thanks again for everybody.
Hear you now.
Like muted himself.
Wow, almost on cue.
What? Did I mute myself?
Oh, there you go.
No, now we can hear you. It's okay.
Yeah, that stupid dude does crazy stuff all the time.
Okay.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Thanks,
Josh.
everyone.
Thank you.
Great to meet you, Karina.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too.
Yay.